welcome to part 2 of albums I've missed in 2018. Again, as I said in the first part, I know I wasn't going to talk about albums that I'd missed this year during my YouTube hiatus, but fuck it, there's nothing coming out for the next couple of weeks, and you know, I've got nothing going on today, so why not sit down and talk about a few albums. So in the first video, I talked about the Marmozets record, the Excerpts record, Don Broco, and Pianos Become the Teeth. And so let's get straight into the albums I'm going to talk about on this video. So, first record I'm going to talk about is something very, very different for this channel. It's an electronic artist, and that is Pogo and his new album Ascend. Now, for those of you guys who don't know Pogo, basically he's a remix artist from Perth in Australia, and he became famous doing remixes of Disney movies. So he's done stuff like Alice in Wonderland, he's done stuff like Winnie the Pooh, which is on this album, he's done Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, he's done a whole bunch of just brilliant remixes. He's so talented, and in my opinion, one of the most talented musicians on the planet. And so this is just such a fun style of music to listen to. I can't really say much more than that. There's so many great remixes all the way throughout this album. Definitely Boy and Bear is a true highlight. Soulshine is great. Take Those Pills is so funny because it's basically looped off of a commercial trying to sell people pills. There's so many great songs all the way throughout this record. If you are interested in electronic music at all, I'd definitely say go and check Pogo out because he's incredible. But if you're not into electronic music, because I'm not, this album is just so much fun. It's such a great thing to, if you're at a party, chuck on and dance to. You'll put it on and people will go, what the fuck is this? And you'll be like, just listen to it for a bit, because while it might take a couple of listens for you to go and for it to click with you, it's definitely one worth checking out. So go and do that. Pogo, Ascend, you won't be disappointed. Second record I'm going to be talking about is Time Will Die and Love Will Bury It from Rolo Tomassi. Now this is a record that only came out recently, and a record that I'd heard a lot of hype about. The drummer in my band actually works for a publication and was telling me to listen to it. I didn't exactly know who Rolo Tomassi were, but for some reason I just didn't go do it. I should have trusted the dude. He's one of my best mates, so I should have done that. But then I heard the That's Not Metal guys talking about it, and that's a common thread through all these records that I've been talking about is That's Not Metal. They helped me discover a lot of music. So going into this record, I'd heard that there was going to be a bit of Dillinger Escape Plan in there and some ethereal stuff, and so I was really interested. What I didn't think was going to happen, and what I didn't know about this band, is that they have a female vocalist. And a female vocalist with a breathtaking voice and a guttural scream. And this record is easily one of my favorites of the year, and it became that on first listen. And I can only see it going up and up my list as I play it more. This record is absolutely incredible. The way they can go from these frantic metal passages and just suddenly click into this big ethereal, atmospheric, beautiful sounding piece is absolutely awesome. Something that not a lot of bands can pull off, but something about her voice and the way the band transition into those sections just makes everything sound perfect in exactly the way it should be. If you haven't heard this record, I can't recommend it enough. If you like challenging experimental music that still has those pop hooks, you can't go any further than Rolo Tomassi. Definitely go and check that out. And if you're a fan of Marmozets, who I talked about on the last video, this is definitely a record for you to go and check out. Next, Everything Dies by Nervus. This is a record that I'd heard the first single for, It Follows, and was really excited about. And this record is absolutely incredible. This is definitely for fans of bands like Alkaline Trio. M's voice definitely sounds a lot like Max Skiba for me, and has a lot of the same pronunciation and all that kind of stuff. But it's got that British sound to it. This record just flows so well together, and just such great punk rock songs with a lot of soul and a lot of heart. And it's a punk rock record with pop sensibilities in the same way that Alkaline Trio is, if you know what I mean. Like, it's not punk as in like frantic in your face the whole time. the melodies are beautiful and the choruses are huge, really, really catchy. And just this record as a whole is really, really great. It only came out a couple of weeks ago, but I decided to talk about the Moose Blood record instead of this, the week it came out. So if you haven't heard this record, again, I've said this for all these records, but definitely go check it out. It's a lot of fun. If you're a fan of a band like Moose Blood or Alkaline Trio or someone, who else could I say? Even All Time Low, you'd really enjoy this record. So definitely go and check that out. Now, the final record I'm going to talk about, I'm only going to talk about it briefly because it is a very brief record, and that is the new record from Turnstile titled Time and Space. I'd heard a lot about Turnstile. I know that their last record was really critically acclaimed, but I'd never, had the time to give them a listen, even though their records are so short. But going into this record, I didn't really know what to expect. I expected hardcore, and you definitely get that on this record. And at the same time, I didn't expect the high level of melodic songwriting on this record, which is just fantastic. The vocal performance all the way throughout this album is absolutely incredible. There are hooks where there shouldn't be hooks, you know what I mean? Like hooks that when you listen to them on first listen, you don't really think, oh yeah, that's like a great melody. But as you listen to the record a couple of times, it just starts getting ingrained in your brain, and suddenly you just find yourself walking, down the street and you're singing a hardcore hook, which is hectic. It's absolutely awesome. This record is great from start to finish. It's only like 27 minutes long, but from start to finish, absolutely awesome. If you haven't heard this record from Turnstile, definitely go and do it. You definitely won't be disappointed. And if you don't like it, you've only wasted 27 minutes of your life, so it's a short listen. Anyway, that's all the records I have to talk about. I've talked about 8 albums that I absolutely love. Let me know what you guys think about all these records in the comment section. I think especially the Rolo Tomassi and the Pogo albums are absolutely incredible. So those would be my 2 out of the 4 that I would say you have to listen to them. But Nervus and Turnstile, both incredible records as well. So there are definitely more albums that I could talk about that have come out this year. Bands like Tonight Alive and Cane Hill, stuff like that. So if there's another week later on, I will do another one of these videos. But what I want you to do is get in the comment section and let me know what records you do want me to catch up on from earlier in the year. Because if I've heard them and I haven't, an opinion on them, then I will definitely go back and talk about them. So anyway, please follow me on all my social medias down in the description and hit subscribe. Go and listen to those albums, guys. They're absolutely incredible. So just enjoy the tunes, and I will see you next time. Fresh Currents.